Welcome, everyone. Tonight we're going to have Lonnie Bedwell. This is his third installment, I think, on our with us, and he's been doing a lot of mountain climbing. He's climbing all the highest peaks, so he's share his latest adventure with us. Hey, Lonnie.
How's it going?
Good, good.
Hey, everyone mute.
Do what?
All right, Lonnie. Whenever you're ready.
Yeah. Which one? I'm kind of really trying to remember where I was at and all of this.
Papua New Guinea.
Papua.
Yeah. Have I talked about climbing in Russia as well?
No, you have not.
Yeah, I didn't think so. I had to finish, the seven summits. I had to finish up in Europe, which happens the highest peak happens to be Russia, and then in Australia or the Australian Oceanic Plate.
No, I don't think we've heard those. Lonnie, you still there?
Is
I think we lost him.
did we lose Lonnie? We lose Ray?
No, I'm here. I'm here. Lonnie's still here.
Okay, we can't hear him.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you, but we can't hear him.
Okay, well, let me see what I can do about that.
Pause recording.
All right, let's try it again. Go ahead, Lonnie.
Hey, did this help any? Did this help any? Ask him if that helped.
Yeah.
Yeah, you sound good now.
Okay. I put on a little set of headbuds and just try that out. Okay. So, yeah. Sorry about all this, fellas.
That's all
You
right.
got probably one of the least tech savvy guys here in the country. So that's why I wear bib overalls and cowboy boots. So, but, anyway, I think the last time I talked was pretty much after climbing Mount Everest. Or did I talk about Antarctica? You guys remember?
Yeah,
Yes,
that was the
a little
last one he
bit.
talked about.
Okay, that was the last one. Okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah, after finishing down in Antarctica, Mount Vinson, I had two peaks left to finish the seven summits, and that's the highest peak in Europe and the highest peak in Australia or the Australian Oceanic Plate, continental plate. So this past year in August, we went to Europe to climb the highest peak over there, which happens to be in Russia. And that was Mount Elbrus, Elbrus, and flew over there in through Moscow, and I didn't have any issues. Didn't have any issues going in and flying over. Then we flew from Moscow over to another little town. I don't remember the name of it, and then drove up to basically the base of Mount Elbrus. Spent a day. Then we climbed a little bit, did a little bit of an acclimation hike, and it's a kind of a ski resort over there. So it's kind of funny on which side of the mountain you climb from. And it's 16,000 some odd feet high. I don't really recall what the elevation of it is, but we climbed from the typical side, the side that most people climb up on, which is a ski resort side. So unlike some of the other mountains, I thought, I'd be going over there, staying in a tent, kind of a deal too. But on the first day on the acclimation hike, we hiked up, so forth, come back down, stayed in the hotel room again. Day two, we hiked up a little bit further, rode a chairlift back down, stayed in the hotel room again. Third day we hiked up, we went up to these little huts that they have made. And I was supposed to. I was part of a four-person team basically, and we're all supposed to stay in the same hut together. But they had us booked wrong, so they had to split the team up, and I stayed in this hut with this little this person that had a dog. They didn't speak English. We couldn't communicate at all. There's a couple of them in there, and this dog just farted all night long. It was horrible. And then, you go in and had some dinner. It was good there, stuff. But then to go to the restroom, you went into this little trailer space and it had a hole in the floor. There was no toilet paper there, no seat to sit on, no nothing. So, here I am just trying to use the edge of my feet to find the edge of the hole because I wasn't about to try to touch anything. And to take a leak was one thing, but to do the other it's like, for me, it was just like, well, I hope I hit the hole because I'm not reaching down there. So whoever was behind me, if I didn't hit the hole, I hope they forgave me because they had to go in there and kick everything over into the hole and what have you. But then, then I'd walk out there and have me guide me right over to the snow so I could definitely kind of wash my boots off and kick my boots off and you name it. But and so I didn't have a sink, didn't have any sand, whatever. So we'd walk over, grab a handful of snow, wash it, get more hand sanitizer. So that was a little bit different. I would rather have used a wag bag and all kind of a deal there. But then we did acclimation there as well. We hiked up, and you're just literally hiking up right as these skidoos and snowcats and everything else were going right beside you. You were hiking up right beside them, and went up the mountain so forth, come back down. Then they put us all in the same hut together. The next day we had to wait. For the weather. The winds were too high up on the mountain, so we didn't get a chance to push to the summit. And then the day after that, we actually pushed up to the summit. And it's kind of funny because I had a lot of teams that's going out ahead of us. And actually, what they did there too is you took the snowcat up to the elevation that you left off at, so you didn't have to walk all the way from the base camp all the way to the summit, or the high camp, I guess you will, all the way to the summit. You rode the snowcat up to where you left off, and then you hiked the rest of the way to the summit. And it felt pretty good, I'll be honest with you, because our guide told us it was his 122nd time of summiting that mountain, and we made it to the summit faster than any group he'd ever led before. And of course, you're always limited by the slowest person on your team, which I was. I can only imagine how fast my team would have made it if I hadn't been on it. But so it's pretty cool to get up there and do that. And then, we hike back down and catch the snowcap where we left off. And it brought us back down to base camp, and then rode the ski lift all the way back down the mountain to the hotel. So that was a very unique kind of climb there for sure. And then on the way back to the airport, to the initial airport, we got stopped by some Russian soldiers who jumped on the van with some Uzis and demanded that, we had to show our passports and all that stuff. So that was a little bit unnerving, and had to stop a few times to let all the free range cattle cross the road. But other than that, we were treated like gold. I mean, the people over there were treated us like awesome. Yeah, they were really hated to be in, and they didn't want to call the everything that was going over there. They wanted to call the conflict that they were involved in. So they all hated it as well. But then after climbing in Europe, we flew over to Australia to climb. And there's two lists. One list says you have to climb the highest peak in Australia proper, which is Mount Kosciuszko, and it's only like 7,000 feet high. And the other one is Karsten. The other list says you have to climb Karsten's Pyramid, which is in Papua New Guinea. And it's more of a rock climb, which I'll get into here in a minute. It's 16,000 some odd feet as well. But just so it couldn't be disputed, we decided to go and hit them both while we were over there. We went to Australia first, flew into Sydney, then had to drive over to Mount Kosciuszko. And the time of the year we did it, October time frame, normally there's not supposed to be any snow, but it was snow covered. So we had to stop and rent some snowshoes and stuff. And I was actually tickled that it was snow covered because I didn't have to worry about spiders or snakes on the trail. And we just literally got up one morning, hiked all the way from the bottom to the top. I don't remember how long it took us to get up to the top, about 5 or 6 hours, something like that. And there was this one little cornice where we could have went out and around it, but we decided to make it a little bit more challenging and went up and over the top of this cornice, which was a little sketchy because the last little bit was literally vertical and I had to jab my ski poles in above my head and just hope they held as I pulled myself up and over the face and had dropped my ski poles back down, trekking poles back down to the guy below me. So because he wasn't carrying any, he didn't have a way up and over it. But he did that and then literally hiked all the way back down and then drove back out. But and that drive over there on the side country, we have deer crossings over here. They have kangaroo crossings, and I think the population of Australia is like 28 million people. But the kangaroo population is somewhere between 35 and 50 million kangaroos. And during the heat of the day, you never seen them. But man, when it come dusk or nighttime or early morning, there was kangaroos everywhere. And literally, when you see these signs, I'm talking, there was dead kangaroos, say in a 1 mile stretch that had these signs up. There was probably, I don't know, 7, 8, 9 dead kangaroos. They're all over the place. So wombats and all that. But so that was kind of an interesting little climb there. And then we flew over from Sydney over into Bali. Then from Bali, we flew over to, forgetting the name of the little town now, at the base in Papua New Guinea. And then I had to take a helicopter ride. The thing with that, to where we were fortunate, is sometimes you can get over there and you can get pinned down for a week or two. But since I was with mountain professionals over there, they bring so many people in on a yearly basis to climb that they kind of get preference on these helicopters. So if you go over there as an individual to climb, there was people that were stuck there for a week to 10 days, and some of them had to turn around and go home because they didn't have enough vacation time or run out of money. They had to just go home without even getting the opportunity to fly over to the mountain. And you can also, it's about a 30-minute helicopter flight over and you can literally be flying across and the fog come in and you just have to turn around and come back. So we flew in on the airplane. I got very fortunate that the next morning we were able to get up. Conditions were perfect. We flew over to the mountain, but 2 people on our team didn't make it that day. So we had to just hope like heck they could come in the next day, which they did. And since we were there, this Karsten's Pyramid had been shut down for, I think, like 4 or 5 years because the tribes people had captured some of the helicopter pilots. They didn't want people climbing and trying to negotiate the terms to let people in. Anyway, I don't know what actually resolved it or if it was resolved or not. But when we flew over there, we were under guard by the Indonesian army the whole time we were over there. And it rained, and man, it was kind of tough condition. You couldn't set your tent on the flat ground because you just get flooded out due to the rain, and it rained every day. Like I said, we got fortunate enough to get a break for the helicopters to come in, and they left, and then it started raining. It rained every day we were there, for the most part. So our tents were kind of sloped on a little bit of a hill. And the first day we flew in, we did a little bit of an acclimation hike up a little side trail, back down. When our second group come in, we had to, let them have time to do an acclimation hike as well. So we did a second acclimation hike. And then we was going to go for the summit the next day, but the weather conditions just too rainy, too cloudy, too much everything. We were up ready to go, midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning, and stayed up until 2. And then our guide called it. No, we're not going to do this. And so went back to bed. Next day we get up, going through the same process. It's raining, midnight, 1 o'clock, then it quits. And he made the call for us to go ahead and push to the summit. And for most folks, it's about a 7-8 hour turnaround to get up the mountain and back down. But I think it took us 14 hours to do it. And literally by just once we all got back out off the mountain, it started raining. So that 14-hour stretch was the longest stretch that we had without rain. But it started to on that. It's like I said, it's pretty much a rock climb more so than a mountaineering trip. You're using your ascenders to climb, and your normal hiking boots and stuff, and trying to wear gloves because it's it's really sharp and jagged, needly pointed, so you can cut your hands pretty easily. But I can't feel really to manipulate a lot of the ascender and to manipulate to get around some of the anchor points. I was climbing without gloves for the most part, and just a little bit, I'd say 100 yards above base camp is when you start using the ropes and some of the ascenders. And there's few little flat spots here and there where you can walk. But yeah, the first little spot, you're up one ascender, then transfer over to another one. And I can remember getting to these one sections that were literally straight up, just literally straight up, and climbing them, and it's pretty cool. And then you get across kind of walking across this ridge, and there's this big crevasse, and you had to do what they call a rolling traverse, and that's to cross from one side to the other. And they took some photos. They've set up for that one big one, they've set up a really nice 3-cable system that crosses this. I don't know, it's probably, I'm going to guess 60, 70 feet across, maybe more. And it's several hundred feet down. And, you just walk on one cable and you hold your hands on the other 2 cables, just balancing. I really wasn't sure if I'd be able to walk across it, not being able to see, where to put my feet, but it was pretty easy, honestly, just kind of duck walk across it. So to get across. And then after that, there was a couple of more little crevasses where you had to make some pretty cool moves to try to climb down and then step onto these points out in the middle of nothing and then crawl across them. So for me to go up, they set up another temporary Tyrolean traverse with our ropes, and there I just clip onto them and hang up, just hang out down from my chest and just pull myself across with my back facing down and stuff. But to get to the summit, and I'll not forget when I got up there, that was the end of we did 8 summits, but that it ended up being the 7th, completing the 7th summits, the highest peak on all 7 continents. And I was kind of pretty cool that my guides and even the guy from Mountain Professionals broke down, started crying, and I got up there and gave out a hoot. But coming back down, all those places where we were using ascenders or just climbing, and the ascender, you could pull against it. It just slide up the rope and it'd catch. You could try to pull back down, but I didn't use it to climb with. I just pushed it up. It's just a safety device for us, most of us, in all honesty, just in case you lost a handhold. If you fell, you was only going to fall 4 or 5 feet instead of 100 feet or whatever it might be. So to climb up, but my hands were all bloody because I wasn't wearing gloves, so I could feel what I was doing, and I got cut and everything. Coming back down, like I said, we had to rappel our way back down where we used the ascender, so I had to wear gloves at that point. I just literally burnt my hands up, and crossing those crevasses the other way was it. But when I got back to the very last, what I thought was cool, got back to the very last rappel off the mountain, I ran into a British commando guy who was actually a Nepali guy, and I don't know if you guys have watched the news. He's missing both legs above the knees, and he was climbing it, and he was successful. It took him, I think, 3 days to climb it and get back down to do it. But it was kind of cool to stand there and have a conversation with that man as he did it. And then he went to Mount Vincent. So he's completed 7 summits as well without legs. But yeah. Well, there's your stories. Yeah. We were fortunate enough to catch a helicopter ride out the next day after we summited. Like I said, everything just worked perfect for us as far as helicopter rides go for the most part. And flew back out, and from where we were out there in Papua New Guinea, it was 6 connections and 34 hours of actual on the airplane time to get from over there to home. So yeah, I was tired.
Okay, you want to open it for questions, Kelly?
Sure.
Yeah, does anybody have any questions?
No.
All right, then this is Kelly. So you did 8. Now what's next for Lonnie?
What we're hoping to do, and we were hoping to do this year, we were hoping to be able to ski to the North Pole, and that would have completed what they call the Explorers Grand Slam. And the Explorers Grand Slam is to climb the highest peak on all 7 continents and ski or trek to both the North and South Poles. And as you guys well know, I've already done the South Pole, but we couldn't get the permitting to do it this year. So it's pushed off till next year. And hopefully, we'll be able to get that next year and be able to complete it. I think they said there's been, at this point, from my understanding, there's been 43 people in the world complete the Explorers Grand Slam. Wow. And none with a disability.
Wow.
I was great.
So, but having said that, what's really on the near future is on the 23rd of this month, I'm flying over to Mount Kilimanjaro in Africa again. And it's kind of going to be a full circle climb, because back in 2015, I was supposed to climb with a fellow blinded veteran named Aaron Hale. And Aaron, for those of you guys who might not know him, is not only totally blind, but he's totally deaf. Well, he's legally deaf now. He, just before me and him were to go over there, he developed spinal meningitis due to his injuries from combat, and left him, like I said, totally deaf as well. He had 2 cochlear implants. His right one didn't take. He can hear about 40% out of his left ear. But with cochlear implants, you cannot directionally tell where sound is coming from. So it's going to be someone's literally in constant contact with him. And not only am I going with him, but then as you guys, I know a lot of you guys definitely know Steve Vasquez.
Oh, yeah.
And Steve is going over there as well. Back before Aaron got hurt, Steve's foundation is called Blind Endeavors. Aaron, Steve, and I had, this was back in, like I said, 2015 era timeframe, 2014, 2015. We're going to form a team to go out and do all kind of expeditions together, and it was going to be called BEAST, BEAST, and that stood for Blind Endeavors Adaptive Sports Team, and or Adventure Sports Team, and anyway, so this is this is kind of going to be a full circle thing of the three of us going and trying. Hopefully, all three of us will be successful in getting to the top of Mount Kilimanjaro. And once again, Aaron will be the first deaf-blind person to ever climb it. But Steve's already climbed it once. I've climbed it, but Aaron is one-upping both of us. He leaves, I think, tomorrow, and him and two of the guys that I climbed Mount Denali with, and one of them that has climbed not only Denali, but all the other summits, the Everest and South Pole, is going over there with him. And they're going to start at the ocean, and they're going to run like 190 miles to the base of the mountain in 6 days. And then rest. So they're going to do a sea to summit push. And, me and Steve both told them have fun with that. But I hope he could pull it off, man. He's just an incredible dude. So you'll be able to follow along if you guys want to with that. I'm sure Steve will have stuff posted on his Blind Endeavors website every day. I'll have them posted on my Facebook stuff, and Instagram. It'll be out there how our progress goes. Our actual climb, like I said, Aaron and them, they're supposed to be done running on the 22nd or 21st. I can't remember, of this month. And then we fly out on the 23rd. We're all supposed to start climbing the mountain on the 25th of this month. And if everything goes right, it'll take us 5.5 days to reach the summit and 2.5 days to come down. So,
Lonnie.
There you go.
Lonnie.
Yes.
David King. Hey, on your last expedition, what month and did you do that? And what was the climate? You said it was a lot of rain, but what season of the year was it at the time? Was that the actual season?
That would have been their, it was October, so it would kind of been their spring, if you will, over there.
Okay.
So, yeah, kind of coming off of it. It's somewhat, I think, that Carson's Pyramid, you can kind of climb pretty much year round when it's open, if it's open, from my understanding. So, where it's at, it doesn't change. I don't believe it changes a whole lot over there, but that would have been the time frame.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yes. And just so you guys know too, whether it comes to fruition or not, there's some folks that are working on a documentary for all of this stuff. It's going to be titled Beyond Vision. If it can come out, and it probably now won't come out. If it does, if they can find the funding for it, won't come out until next, after we do the North Pole. I don't think, unless they decide to go ahead and have it come out before then, to see if we can do the North Pole. But it's that, and the title, the Beyond Vision is beyond the norm, outside the box, beyond the status quo, and something I don't know if you guys have ever heard me say, but I've told some other folks is we are all much more than the reflection here. All of us are. Whether we can see that reflection, whether we can't see that reflection, we're all much more than that reflection in the mirror. That just shows what's outside.
That's true.
That doesn't show what's in us. That doesn't show
I agree with
who we
that.
are, what we're made of. So, and it's beyond that. It's beyond that reflection. It's beyond. That's kind of the thinking or thought, if you will, behind the title of the documentary. Should
So,
garage. So
so Lonnie, is there a way
yes.
that we can get some visuals of you, maybe videos and or pictures of you, because we are planning to follow you as much as we can. Okay. Our intentions is find out where's Lonnie at this time because you're such a expeditionist. And we wanted to try to form a page somewhere. We had pictures of you doing some climbing and so forth, maybe with a small bio, but we want to kind of keep up with you. Is that okay to do that with you?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if you guys, if anyone has eyesight as good as just stealing pictures off my Facebook or off my website. And the bio actually is right there on my website.
Great.
It's just my name too, LonnieBedwell.com. Can do that. Yeah,
Okay. Well,
and I
thank
do
you
have a
for
YouTube
permission.
channel, but it's got a few things on it. It's not got a lot. I'm trying to upgrade all this a little bit more and stuff myself. But
So is it
yeah.
okay that we follow you a little bit? I mean, we
Oh,
won't.
absolutely. Yeah,
Yeah.
please do. That's why it got like I know some of you guys heard me before. That's exactly why I do this. Um,
Okay.
Believe me, it was never on my radar to do what we've done, and I've just been blessed with the opportunity. But what drives me to do it is to hopefully encourage everyone to once again see more than that reflection in the mirror, and
Absolutely.
hopefully encourage everybody to do more, to just realize that they can do so much more than they think they can, and to
Step out
encourage
of the
everyone around
box.
us to believe in that,
Yeah.
and help us live a life outside this bubble that they want to keep, most people or society wants to keep us in.
Wow. Good point.
Hey, Lonnie, this is Ray.
Yes.
When we were deer hunting this past month, or back in November, um, there was a guy following you around for filming you for a documentary.
Yes.
When will that one be coming out?
That's the one I'm talking about.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's not, and I don't know what they're going to come up with or how they're going to do it. And it's supposed to be, yeah. The one thing I told them, or a couple of things I told them, I said, one, I don't want it to offend anybody, and I don't want it to be this rah 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 kind of a deal. I want to show the struggles. I want to show the challenges. I want to show,
Absolutely.
what, it's, yeah, what really goes in around all of the things that we all go through. So,
Cool.
yeah, yeah. So I don't know who's going to be in it, what's going to be. I have no idea, but I know they've filmed me doing tons of stuff. So, and if you guys, like I said, for those of you guys who might follow my Facebook page, so I didn't really show pictures, just show pictures of a little barn I tore down, but
Yeah.
here last few weeks. And that was that little red barn stood there. That was the one that my daughter helped me mow around 2 months after the accident, after I lost my eyesight. And so that's kind of a little bit of a surreal moment for me, is to finally tear that little barn down that needed to come down. And, the big old barn I tore down, I don't know, a year or so ago, I re-erected out here behind my house. So that little red one needed to come down, but it's,
Hey, Lonnie.
everything changes, man.
Hey, Lonnie, is that lake been drained over there in Sullivan?
No.
I thought you had said at one time y'all was going to drain the lake or what?
Yeah, they haven't yet, and they were talk about filling it full of slurry. So, but no, they haven't. They haven't started doing either one yet, and so it's still there, still good to go.
Okay. Well,
Yeah,
we'll take it from there, brother.
but I'm getting older. I know that. I can tell it.
We all are. We all are. How old are you now? Since you said that.
I'm 60. I'll be 61 here.
Wow.
In June. So yeah, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
He's still a kid.
Figuratively speaking.
Last time I looked in the mirror, I was 31.
There you go.
Well,
Yeah.
man, it's
Yeah.
good to hear your voice again. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
Anybody else have questions?
Anybody? All right. Thank you, Lonnie. We appreciate it. We'll probably definitely have you back on again. I know you're going to do something else, so we'll have another installment of the Lonnie Chronicles.
Well, guys, I appreciate it. Once again, I appreciate each and every one of you, your service, your sacrifice. You guys are a huge part of why I do what I do and how I'm able to do what I do.
Awesome.
And it's because of your sacrifice that I have the freedom to be able to do this stuff. And so thank you, each and every one of you. I sincerely
Thank you.
mean that. And I just once again hope to kind of, the only thing special about Lonnie Bedwell is the opportunities. There's no difference in what we can do. And when you get the opportunity to say, or get opportunities, try to find a way to say yes. That's one thing I guess, have people talk to me about a lot is, that I tend to try to say, yeah, okay, if they can do it, we can do it. If they can do it, we can do it. Yes. And I've just been so fortunate with people who believe in mission, believe in the goal, and so thank you.
All right, Lonnie. Thank you very much. Appreciate you. Have a good evening.
All right, guys. Take care.
You
Take
too.
care,
man.
Lonnie.
You
Bye-bye.
too. Thank you.
Well, this has been another episode of what are we doing? Adaptive
Rec.
Rec.
Yeah.
Adaptive Rec Forum. I'm sorry. Kelly, you should have been doing this part. But tune in again next month and we'll have another guest. And we'll be announcing that on our Facebook page. So please go to our Nbvo.
Who's going for next month?
I just got the email this morning. Jim has confirmed he does want to do it in March. So
who's
that'll
that?
be Jim Riley.
Okay.
Jim Riley, the
Okay.
navigation test.
Excellent. So please follow us and be back here again next month. Be on the lookout for your invitations on Facebook and in your email. Okay. That's it for us.
See you guys. Take care.
Thank you. Bye.